Now, I've given you this broad overview of best practices and philosophies of using LinkedIn for your career journey as a college student or college graduate. We've talked about building your LinkedIn profile, and we've talked about networking on LinkedIn. The third really important piece is social engagement. Let's talk a little bit about why this is important. It's sort of like going to an event or a networking event or any event. And then you may look good, show up there wearing good looking clothes, and people know who you are. And there's some level of trust and respect between you and the people who are there. And maybe a bunch of other people you haven't met yet, but there's people there that know those folks. That's like your LinkedIn profile showing up and looking good. You're telling the right story. You're building your LinkedIn profile out so you have that right presence. The second big thing is, again, you show up in an event. And the second part of that analogy is you show up in an event where there's 100 people. And 50 of them you know, and the other 50 you don't know. But again, they know each other and you can get introduced. That's really important to do. It's like building your LinkedIn network out. A lot of them you know personally, and others you've just met or you're meeting along the way, and you're developing some level of trust, respect, and like with them. But then you show up at this event and you stand in the corner and you say nothing. You do nothing. Or you stand off to the side and you only talk to the people that are your best friends. It doesn't give you the opportunity to meet new people and develop some level of trust and respect and like with new people. The same thing on LinkedIn. You can't have a beautiful profile and grow your LinkedIn network with people you know. It's not, that alone is not going to work. You have to get into conversations. You have to engage. Now on LinkedIn, there's two big primary ways of doing that. You can share content, post content, whether you write your own content, create your own content, or you curate content from, other sources on the internet and YouTube videos and blog posts and news stories and association articles, or you share content you find on LinkedIn. You could do that. Content's important, but content alone is not important enough. It's like coming to a networking event and you just doling out your content with everybody, but yet you don't get into conversations with people, or more importantly, you don't join other people's conversations. You walk into a networking event, you walk up to a group of people who are relevant to you, and you listen, and you engage, and you share. The same thing on LinkedIn. You don't have to only be sharing content. You can go find conversations that are of interest and relevant to you and be a part of those conversations. So let's talk high level about sharing and high level about getting into conversations on LinkedIn. You ready? All right, share is really pretty easy. It's right there. I mean, you read an article somewhere, you watched a YouTube video somewhere, and you drop that YouTube video in there, and this is what's really important. Anytime, look, this is one of the courses I'm writing for you guys, anytime you share anything, this is critical, listen to this. Anytime you share anything, you tell your most important viewer, your target audience, their influencers, the people whom you are trying to get their attention. Why am I sharing this? Why is it? You tell them that. What did you get from it? What was the value you got from it? Why do you think they'll find it interesting? How did it make you think? What did it make you look at things in life differently, or in your career differently, or in your role differently? You must tell people when you hand them anything, why are you handing it to them? It's really important. And you could say that in one sentence. You could say that in 2 or 3 sentences. I don't care how much you use to tell me why you're giving it to me. You better tell me why you're giving it to me. Then Drop the link, drop the article, tell the story, write the post, share the image. I don't care what it is. There's lots of different pieces of content you can share. I'm not going to show that all to you. You can practice that and figure it out on your own. But after you tell me why you're sharing it, what value you got from it in 1, 2, or 3 sentences or more, give me what you're giving me. Then you always end it with hashtags. Always end it with hashtags that are relevant to the topic. College graduates, career journey. Always have at least 3 hashtags at the end of every piece of content. No more than 6, but at least 3. This is a LinkedIn philosophy, and it really works well because it can align you with these hashtags on LinkedIn. And by the way, if you do more than 6, the LinkedIn algorithm thinks you're doing hashtag stuffing, and this is not Instagram. This is not TikTok. This is a business platform. 3 to 6 hashtags. Tell me why you're sharing it. Give me what you want to give me, whether, again, it's an image, an article, a blog post, a video, a native video. Look at all these different things. Image, video, document, job, kudos, poll, whatever. And then always end with hashtags in the end. And then when you're done, hit the post button. Now, once you post that piece of content, you stop right here. You don't go anywhere further. And you look at what you posted. You read it and you make sure it says what you want to share. It says what you want it to say. It shares what you want to share. And you have the right hashtags. There's no spelling errors or grammatical errors. You look at this and you make sure it's what you want, because this is the last time you will see this in your newsfeed unless you reshare it or someone shares it. And if you see there's a problem, you hit the 3 dots and you edit it. Or if you realize, oh my God, it's not what I want to do, you hit the delete button. Because once you move on and once you do anything, it's gone and you will never see it again unless you go to your profile. You go down here where it says activity, which, by the way, you can get to that right by clicking me and post an activity. And you go to your activity, and now you will be able to see, there it is under all activity. And if you hit might have to hit refresh if you do it too quick. And there it is under post. And here you still have the ability to edit or delete it. But you want to edit or delete before you move off the home page. So you have what you want. You gave what you wanted to give. Again, when you start a post and you share, you can do images and videos and documents, PDFs, Word documents, Excel spreadsheets, Google documents, etc., etc. You can post that you're hiring if you're working for someone to hire. You can do celebratory posts of all kinds of different ways. You can do a poll. You can share that you're looking for an expert, create an event, or offer help. And the way to figure out how to use this is go try it. And try it, test it, play with it, and then once you're done, delete it if you want to delete it. Really easy to start a post. By the way, you could also write articles. Well, I'm not going to go into that because not everybody has time to write articles or wants to write articles. But this is how you give content to people. Give them what you want to give them, whatever it is you want to share. Tell me why you want to share it, and always end with 3 to 6 hashtags. Now let's talk about the other really big piece of engaging on LinkedIn, and that's to get into conversations. You can you can spend a little bit of time if you want strolling through the news feed, and you can look for content that you want to engage on. And by the way, this is a group content, and the reason that this is only showing like and comment is because it's from a group. Every other piece of content that's in the news feed typically will have like, comment, share, and send. And this is the essence of engagement. And you really want to focus on engaging on content that is relevant to your career journey, relevant to where you want to go, relevant to the industry you want to be a part of, relevant to the types of companies that you want to be a part of, relevant to the work that you want to do, relevant to your target audience, relevant to people who are important to you, relevant to lots of stuff, but you better know what it's relevant to and not just simply dropping in and engaging for the sake of engaging. This is a business tool. Your career journey is a business process. So find content that's relevant to anything and everything related to you, and then decide, how do you want to engage? Let me tell you a little bit about how you may or may not want to engage. First of all, minimize the use of the like button. The like button does not grow your brand. All the like button does is let me tell Christy or Daniel that I saw their content. That's all it does. Nothing more than that. The comment, by the way, is the most powerful way to engage, because when I comment, I get to let Christy, Daniel, my network, and everybody else who engaged on this content what I'm thinking, what I perceive. What did I get from this? How do I think this is a benefit or of interest? And you can engage in very meaningful ways, but the minimum number of words that you need to use is 10. Let me repeat. If you want to engage in a meaningful way, you want to use a minimum of 10 words. Make the comment all about the post, or Christy, or Daniel, or Enterprise Inc., or Enterprise Bank, or Alan Muller, and most importantly, about the content. What did you get from this? Read it all. Read what Christy wrote so that you're clear about what she wrote. Maybe look at some of the conversation that's already occurring here so you see what they're already saying. There's only 7 comments. It won't take long for you to read through them, or at least peruse through them quickly. And then when you comment, you can offer some meaningful comment about that piece of content and about the conversation that is going on. Furthermore, beyond just the comment button, you can go down here and read what Aaron or Natalie or Christy's comment, her reply back. Look at other people's comments and maybe be a part of the conversation at this level as well, or being a part of the conversation at this level. But join in on conversations that are highly relevant to you, highly relevant to your target audience, the industry, and the role you want to be a part of, et cetera, et cetera. And by the way, you don't need to spend a whole lot of time scrolling through the news feed. If you want to get into the world of artificial intelligence, then do a search for posts about artificial intelligence and look and see who wrote it. Maybe there are people you're connected with. Maybe there are companies that you are related to or are following or paying attention to. Look and see what conversations are going on relevant to what you're interested in. Again, consume it. Consume means read through it, watch or listen to the video or the image or whatever, and then you can comment in some meaningful way. By the way, I didn't click on the word post, which didn't bring up the rest of them. Again, I can read what Ann said. I can look at the article she shared. I can at least peruse through it quickly so I can understand what the conversation is and then participate in the conversation with either a comment or, where relevant, appropriate, a reply. This is the real value of LinkedIn. Not just sharing content that you created or that you found, which, by the way, is very useful to do if you like doing that, but additionally, getting into the right kinds of conversations so that you can participate in other people's conversations. By the way, here's another way. You don't need to go looking for conversations about topics, and you don't need to scroll through the news feed to find conversations. You can very clearly go look at individuals or look at companies that are important to you. Let me do a story. Here's, let's say I want to really develop my relationship with this dude named Randy Wooden, okay, and look at people. And here's Randy. I can go to Randy's activity right down here, his activities, show all activity. And if I'm trying to nurture my relationship with Randy, I'm going to look at what his posts say. Look what he posted. It happens to be about me, about me, about me, about me. Whoa, here's a post that's not about me. By the way, Randy and I are business partners. And I can read what Randy wrote. Again, read the whole thing. And then maybe look at some of the conversations that are going on and then jump into the conversation either at the comment level or the reply level. So again, look for conversations based on keywords. Look for conversations based on your people who are important to you in your journey. Look for conversations based on companies that are going on. And you can look to get into those conversations. Engagement includes posts that you want to share and, most importantly, conversations you want to get into. By the way, high level, if I do a post, I really want to share a post about artificial intelligence, whatever that post is. And I remember I got to tell the people, tell them why, and give them what I want to give them, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. All those things that are important. But I can also mention people. So I can mention, Rich Schlentz, type Rich, click on Schlentz, and because I know Rich personally, I can get rid of the last name. I can mention people. I can also mention companies. I can mention a company if I want to, at IBM, and click on IBM. I can mention, Triad, National, NAIP, my Triad. I can mention numerous people and numerous companies, again, where relevant and appropriate in my post. So that's again, relevance, a key word here. I pull these people or pull these companies into the conversation. Really worth doing if you want to really push your engagement to a whole nother level. And a couple more things that are important. I don't have to do this engagement just in LinkedIn publicly. I can do it privately. Ashley's a friend of mine. I'm connected. I can do engagement directly with Ashley at the message level. By the way, I can also engage directly with people by doing send. I found a really good, if I find this article that Ashley wrote really useful and beneficial, well, I can send it to Randy. I can send it directly to Randy. I can also send it to Rebecca if I want to. Send it directly to individuals. And just as I mentioned earlier, when I share something with anybody, click on that button, make it bigger. When I share any content with anybody, I always need to tell them, why am I sharing it with you? I don't care if I share it publicly or send it privately. I should always tell the people I'm sharing it with why I'm sharing it. What value did I get from it? How did I learn from it? How did it help me? And how do I think it may help them? Engaging on LinkedIn is how you take your brand that you are developing as a college student or a recent grad. How you take your brand to another level. Your brand does not need to be hard and fast and deliberately focused about one thing. Your brand is developing, and your brand also includes your personality. Your brand includes your desire to help others and get into conversations with others and learn from others. Your brand is not just tied around a job. Your brand is you as a human. So think about the words that you're using and think about how you're helping people and how you're eager and willing to get into conversations with others. That can be a huge part of your brand while you're developing your professional brand in an industry or in a role. Maybe that continues to change. That's okay. But think about engaging as you're building your network, as you're building your presence on LinkedIn. As a college student or a recent grad, you will discover, if you follow the guidance that I've given you in this course, you'll discover that you're going to be far more successful because you're publicly present, you're publicly connecting with the right people along the journey, and you're willing to start and get into relevant conversations. I hope this has been helpful. I hope you get a lot of value from it. Please don't hesitate to comment on the YouTube videos. Ask me any questions in the comments. I will answer every question that you give me because my goal is to help you be successful using LinkedIn as a business tool, which starts using LinkedIn as a college student or college grad. Thank you very much for taking my course.